You are listening to a Nerd Room podcast production. We, the nerd. Bunch of nerds.
Hey everyone and welcome to Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and beyond. This is episode number 299. We're discussing Across the Spiderverse, Black Adam, and a new PeaceMaker trailer. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
And I'm Carlos.
And last week, guys, you had Batman and Nightwing given the 1-2 punch. But this week, you've got Captain America and Captain America here, formerly known also as the Falcon and Captain America. So Carlos, man, welcome to the show. It's going to be a fun night. We got lots to discuss here. We've got Across the Spiderverse Part 1 trailer. We've got some serious news from our boy DJ talking about Black Adam. We got a new PeaceMaker trailer. We're also going to talk about Daredevil, Superman, The Matrix. It is a big episode. I can't wait to jump in, but first things first, man, how are you this evening?
I'm good, man. Just sucked up in the vortex of all things work compounded by the holidays. And yeah, it's nice to be able to take a sidestep and have some normalcy, as it were, in our nerdy world.
Yeah, decompress a little bit. So I'm right there with you. I need a little bit of space to breathe here, and this is a perfect time to do it. And I hope you guys listening can join us here on this Nerd Odyssey for the next hour and a half. And I don't think we should wait any longer. I think we should jump straight into it with This Week in Nerd. All right, everyone, welcome to This Week in Nerd. This is our weekly news segment where we break down the latest and the greatest from the world of nerd. And I cannot wait to talk about this first topic because it is one of my most anticipated properties coming out in 2022. And we've only got to wait about a month's time to actually get it. Coming this January, I don't know if we have an exact date, is James Gunn's PeaceMaker. We got a new trailer in front of us. And all I have to say about this is John Cena is quickly rising up to not quite Dwayne status, but this guy for me is an absolute must-see, especially in PeaceMaker. And look, guys, I'm going to have to bleep myself, but HBO Max is selling this. This is the tagline for the movie on their YouTube channel. Give peace a chance. Give this show a chance, guys. I'm telling you, go watch this new trailer. Everything that they're doing here looks incredible. And the big caveat here is James Gunn just wrote this during the Suicide Squad, filmed it, and now we're getting it. Like, there's nothing, I don't think, connected outside of really the MCU, which has this big plan, that is this close. Like, the Suicide Squad just came out like 3 months ago. I've been waiting for an April O'Neil longer than we've been waiting for this PeaceMaker show after the Suicide Squad.
That's true.
So, Carlos, man, I know I am heaping a ton of praise on this. Is this justified? Is PeaceMaker going to do what we think it's going to do?
Yeah, I think so. January 13th, if my memory
13th?
serves correct, I think, is when it's coming out. And, you know, as you talk through that, that's the thing that actually blew my mind, was just how close it is to the release of the Suicide Squad. And and I love the energy with that you read James Gunn talking about making the Suicide Squad and then having the idea for the PeaceMaker, pitching it, and them giving him the money and the resources and them getting the show in front of cameras and ready to go, like, not even 6 months after the Suicide Squad comes out, which is amazing. I think the timing is good because the Suicide Squad will be back on HBO Max. It's available on streaming to buy or rent, and all the eyeballs that can see this thing is a good thing. And I think people will be hungry for more because that is a great movie. So to see that world expanded out a bit more and to have that same kind of creative flavor to it via James Gunn, and I loved what he did in the movie, and I'm really looking forward to what he's doing with the show. And yeah, there's just some neat things, like the weird dynamic that he has with his dad, played by the T-1000 himself, which was kind of neat. And to introduce their version of Adrian Chase, the vigilante. Like, he's not what I know as the vigilante, but at the same time, let's face facts, like, vigilante kind of came and went in 1987, and nobody's been clamoring for him since. So might as well use him in this capacity if Mr. Gunn has something interesting to do with him. And he looked like a riot as well. And over the course of this trailer, you have a character that you loathe at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad, and you're already kind of seeing the facets for him having a bit of a redemption arc, which is cool. And that's just good storytelling. And I think it's something that we need a bit more of in today's world, is to show that uh, people are multidimensional, and maybe we don't fully understand what's going on with them at all times. So I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that we can teach some of these lessons through these characters, which is honestly what they were originally designed for, all the way back to the Man of Steel. So
Yeah, man, like that redemption arc that you're talking of, that is like on display in this trailer. That transition into potential anti-hero. I was one of those ones that went through the roller coaster ride with John Cena and the Suicide Squad, where I absolutely loved him. And then, spoiler alert, the movie's been out for 5 months or so. But then there's this turn at the end where it's like, oh no, like I want to love this guy, but it's hard to, given the circumstances and the way that he's being portrayed at this point in time. And then now to go on this additional ride with him so soon after the movie, I'm ecstatic about it. I'm so excited. And the sensibility and the writing here that James Gunn brings to the table, this is exactly what I want, especially for the first thing out of the gate in 2022. I want to sit back, enjoy something that is completely different from what we're getting in the last couple months here, the last few movies, and it's going to be different from everything we're going to get subsequently in 2022. This is going to stand on its own. It's going to break new ground for not only characters like PeaceMaker, but also the DC universe. HBO Max is going to bring, this is their first made for HBO Max, like DC film continuation type of story, correct?
yeah, like their
Yeah.
only other one that's even remotely close is The Watchmen, but
Yes.
that was just HBO proper
Yeah.
and not really connected to a film universe. In fact, it didn't even draw from the Snyder film. It drew from the original comic books with a few of the key elements. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So this is that kicking off that space and that growth that we're going to see with things like Batgirl and what else is called Blue Beetle. There's so much to happen on HBO Max. This is really kind of the big party, the big kickoff for HBO Max in the superhero world, which also excites me. And so there's so many pieces falling into place, and a lot of that is on display in this trailer. The comedy alone, it screams James Gunn, and the delivery from John Cena, who's really on display in this trailer, while also adding some of the supporting cast and how they're going to prop up, I think, what's going to be just a really fun ride, and something, like I said, that we're probably all going to need after this last year, and a way to jump into this with something brand new, different. I'm stoked about this, man.
yeah, no, it'll be great. It'll be great no matter what, right? Like you've got the cable channel that brings you Succession and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like
Yeah.
it's got all those ingredients that will make the Peacemaker a wonderful show. So
Yeah, buckle up, guys. It comes out here, like you said, I think the 13th, 15th, something in the middle of January, but I'm sure we'll find that out if it's not for sure in the not too distant future here. But one property in DC, as we stick with this thread here, that we have to talk about today, we got a pile of news coming from Dwayne Johnson and Black Adam. Now, this character, we saw the trailer at Fandom, or the little teaser clip and all that started to really open up the gates here. Dwayne's been talking about this character for like 10 years. And we got this Total Film article that's being dropped on us this Thursday. And we got some insight, some snippets from that article. And he's always talking about the changing hierarchy. And every single piece of media that comes out adds to this grander puzzle that DJ has been putting together through his social media campaign, through building this film, through really constructing what is going to be a foundational character and even a foundational studio and platform for the next phase of DC to really jump off of. And coming here hot with Black Adam, with suit pictures and some quotes about Superman we're going to talk about in a minute. But Carlos, talk to me a bit about these images we are seeing from this Total Film article with Black Adam. We didn't get a full picture of him in that Fandom trailer. We got a kind of the hooded look, and a lot of it was in the dark. This time we're getting that full, not bright, but open picture of him in the suit from the magazine cover, stills, production stills, him working on things, hood up, hood down. There's a lot going on here. So speak to me about Black Adam here from this Total Film article that we're getting this Thursday. So we haven't read it yet, but there's all the teaser stuff is out there.
Oh man, I loved the images and the thought that they put into it. Like when you have the cloak and it's got some of the trappings and the design elements from the Egyptian clothing and whatnot sewn into it, so that it's got some interesting design elements, but they're not just there to look cool. They're purposeful. So that was neat. But then the one thing that really caught me was that he has the same lightning bolt emblem as like Captain Marvel / Shazam, and where Zachary Levi's was bright and colorful and luminescent, his is all dark and charred and cracked, and it gives you a subconscious take as to what Black Adam is all about and how he's different than Billy Bats. And so yeah, I was really stoked by that. And then also not only the mindset behind the costuming, but the mindset behind the approach to the movie and how they were pretty analytical with going into production. And he talks about seeing the pitfalls and acknowledging that things worked and things didn't work, and being mindful of that in how they approach Black Adam, and taking their shot and making sure that they do what they can to ensure that this is a successful venture for them. So that was pretty cool, and I love seeing that. I love seeing that kind of tactical mindset with going into these things and wanting to ensure that you deliver for your audience and that you put best foot forward and that you create a strong foundation for anything you want to do in the future. Like, you can do weird and wacky things, but if people aren't buying in, you can't expect them to follow you when you do something that's going to be a deviation from the norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're bought in, as the MCU has proven, they'll follow you through anything. So
Yep.
yeah, I love the mindset, and kind of like we talked in the DM, when he's talking about the hierarchy of power, I don't think that he's just talking about what we see in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something much bigger going on there. We've mentioned this in the past, talking about nothing that he does is by mistake. He's a man with his ear to the ground. His production studio is listening. There's quotes in this article that reference directly that. And look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's no advertiser on earth that can guarantee 82 million eyeballs, sets of eyeballs, on a single piece. More people have seen this Black Adam article than anything in the last day on planet Earth, I would almost say. So that's incredible when you think about that you have one person that has that much social media presence and that much ability to influence. This is the reason that Black Adam is going to become a household name in 2022, which is crazy when you put that into perspective of some of the things that are and are not coming out inside of 2022, 2023 and beyond. They're coming, but he is taking the center stage on this one. And looking at these pictures too, I have to comment. The one thing with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, sometimes is that he is just Dwayne Johnson. He plays a character and you kind of see him, right? You don't see the character all of the time. I'm starting to lose DJ in this a little bit when I'm looking at these pictures, especially the cloaked versions of it, where he's starting to become a bit more to me like the character. Yes, we haven't seen a lot of it as far as speaking and all that, but even from a costume perspective, I'm starting to lose that a little bit. He's melding into that character in front of my eyes here, which I really like. Like, I thought seeing him in a tight spandex black suit with a giant lightning bolt on him, I thought that would look weird. It was a big dude, big bald head, like, and he's Dwayne Johnson. Like, he's like the most recognizable person on the planet. And yet here he is owning that look. Front page of Total Film and in some of these stills. That has also got me very excited for this venture.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is now I'm like, shoot, I might need a Black Adam Hot Toys. So
man, do I need one?
Maybe.
Do I need one? Ooh, if they nail that face sculpt, I might need one, especially if it comes with that big cloak that he's wearing in these pictures.
Yeah. Oh, it's gotta. They gave Wonder Woman the big black cloak with the Justice League figure, so
Oof.
if she got hers, they gotta give DJ this one.
Oh man, look out! Look out! It's been
Light
expensive
up
here.
effect.
Oh,
Light up
come on.
effect.
Oh, geez. And now you got me thinking about Hot Toys here. So another quote that came out of this article will come out with this article. This was likely some sort of advanced copy where the quote came from. Is Dwayne Johnson talking about Black Adam versus Superman, and Carlos lays claim to to something here on the podcast, which he will no doubt talk about here. But before we get into that claim that is years in the making, we've got a quote here from this article that this is directly from Dwayne Johnson, that there's a battle that's going to go down one day between Black Adam and Superman. I don't know who that Superman is going to be. That's okay. I don't need to know right now. This quote here, he's been chirping about Superman. Dwayne Johnson's coming for this movie to lay the groundwork, but he's had his eyes on battling Superman since like day one of this. And I think that's cool, right? This goes back to the wrestling tendencies in him a little bit, right? You're shooting for the top dog, the big guy. And I think we all know who that guy's going to be. But let's hear some thoughts on Black Adam versus Superman. He talks about not knowing which Superman. I think realistically, there's only one Superman that this could truly be, right?
Oh man, there is no way that it's not Henry Cavill. Like, come on, you can have him go up against Zachary Levi. Like, I'm sure after cheat day, like DJ is taking poops that are bigger than that guy. Like,
all those pancakes and peanut butter.
yeah, the only guy that can go toe to toe with The Rock is gonna be Henry Cavill. He's got the physical stature and just the fact that it's Superman. Like that S just symbolizes strength, and even just the the realities of it, right? Like Henry Cavill's agent is the same agent as Dwayne Johnson's. The same production company that's doing the Black Adam stuff is the one that will be negotiating for Henry Cavill to appear as Superman in whatever it is. And I think this really explains why we haven't heard a lot as to what's happening with Cavill and when we'll see Superman next, because they've put themselves in a position where they've got a load of projects, lots of interesting, dynamic, and different things. Like this year, we've got all the Batman stuff, and we're starting to see kind of the seeds getting planted for what we're going to see next year. And so, yeah, why would you put all your cards on the table and say, yeah, we got Superman coming for sure and Black Adam 2 or blah, blah, blah? You don't need to. You don't need to, because the news cycles are so fast right now that you might as well just wait, right? Because you could announce that Henry Cavill's fighting Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam 2 summer 2024, and then they do a preview screening of Spider-Man No Way Home and it's completely lost. So just hang on to it. Just hang on to it. Maybe you announce it at Fandom 2022. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's coming. I call my shot. If it's not, Tim will be looking for a new co-host. But
absolutely not.
Yeah, my very first appearance on the Nerd Room. That was the shot that I called, and yeah, it's got to be Cavill, and Cavill's busy. He's got stuff going on right now, anyways. So between The Witcher and Highlander, yeah, I'm more confident than I've ever been that this is already happening. It's all signed, sealed, and delivered. It's just a matter of when the rest of us get to see what the grand vision is. And we're not going to until after we've watched all of Black Adam and maybe shows up in a post-credit scene or something of that nature, or they just tease something with the S with Metropolis. But yeah, he's not fighting Val Zod, I'm telling you right now, or Calvin Ellis. Like, those guys will show up and they'll be amazing, but yeah, he's going toe-to-toe with the OG. Guaranteed.
I am right there with you. I'm going to double down even more so on that. I'm almost willing to bet that there is a post-credit scene, or like you said, a major tease of not only Superman, but Cavill at the end of Black Adam in some capacity. I've said it. Can't remember if I said it on this podcast already, but I've definitely said it before. Nothing DJ does is by mistake. The reason Superman is in this art, there's no reason, right, for him to be promoting Superman in any capacity at this point, other than he wants to battle him someday. But there's so much hype already for him to build for just this movie. But he always takes time to mention Superman, whether it's in a post or an article like this. He's always mentioned it, keeping on the tip of the tongue, right? You're never going to forget about this big battle coming someday. This WrestleMania-esque battle, if you even want to call it that. Bring it back to his roots. He's putting it out there, right? Whether it's at the end of Black Adam or in the future in 2 or in a bigger movie, it's happening. And look, it would be foolish for WB to move away from Cavill. He's an established Superman. You just had him in arguably the best comic book movie of the year, one of the biggest. And why remove that? You don't have to spend any time building up this Superman if you want to go toe-to-toe with Black Adam. We can all see it already. They don't have to do any work. They don't have to say, oh, the Superman's been here forever and building a whole new foundation for Superman. It's already built. Just use it. Leverage it. Take bits and pieces that you want and leave some of it behind if you don't want it all. You can do that. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's been done before. It's going to be done with a character we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And leverage what you like and go from there.
Oh, it's just so easy, and you don't have to have any of the other stuff. You don't want to have Amy Adams, Lois Lane. Don't have her. You can't get Larry Fishburne to be Perry White again. Don't have him.
No.
Like it's perfect. It's perfect to just have him as the guy that you parachute. It's no different than when Iron Man shows up in Civil War. He had very few of Tony Stark's trappings with him, but he was Iron Man that we knew and that was established through all those movies. And yeah, like you said, you can just have them seamlessly flow in and get to all the good stuff right away.
Yeah, you waste no time. Economic storytelling. We're always saying it. It's right there for the take, and I can't wait for that. And Superman is not out of our thoughts and out of our mind just because he's not on the big screen. He is appearing in a major way on the small screen. The return of Superman and Lois, January 11th. So pairing up very nicely with the drop of PeaceMaker comes the return of this awesome CW show. They just dropped a brand new trailer on us only about a couple hours ago. And the question I have here, I haven't finished watching Superman and Lois, which is a big bad on my part here. But looking at this thing's getting more cinematic. Some of those images of Superman in that trailer, I'm like, is this from what movie is this from? It looks incredible, especially some of the darker scenes. When he's the rain and all that. Oh, man. And the conflict that we're seeing inside of it. And the questioning. There's a question. This isn't a spoiler, but this is a question. I don't know if it was addressed at the end of Superman Lois Season 1. But him and his allegiances to the U.S. or to the world. That conflict there, I want a movie of that. Like, I love that concept and how they can build on that with Superman. Is he a United States asset, or is he a global asset, and where he sees himself versus where the rest of the world sees him? Who does he represent? That is such a cool through line to be playing with, especially with the younger family. I'm digging this trailer, man. I know you love that season. You did a great wrap up episode with some of the guys, but seeing him coming back to the small screen here, man, are you stoked? You ready for this?
Oh yeah, man. It came out of nowhere and just blew me away. Not getting any spoilers for the end of season 1 of Superman and Lois, but there's some cool developments with John Henry Irons, and they really set themselves up for something special with that character and his relationship with Superman as they go forward. And there's a little teaser to the one thing that I really wanted, but good on the showrunners for not giving us everything in season 1, but it looks like they're setting it up for John Henry to get that big metal S on the front of his costume, so that'll be sweet. And yeah, I love that they're leaning into the whole truth, justice, and for a better tomorrow that they've established as Superman's new motto, and also some of the concepts that they played with in Action Comics 900, where he's like, yeah, I don't like you trying to construe me as an instrument of U.S. foreign policy, and I belong to the world. So that's pretty cool, and I think that opens up Superman to a whole nother audience and allows him to be a little more wholly embraced by people that don't reside in the U.S. In fact, ironically, this morning I was reading an article talking about how Superman and Lois has blown the doors off the ratings in the UK where it's finally come out. So It just goes to show that this character has a global appeal,
Well,
and yeah, I think it's totally a smart move. And my daughter actually brought up the fact that it comes out on the same day as Naomi, which Ava DuVernay has done for them. And so we saw in Fandom that quick little snippet where she bails out of class because Superman was run into something. So I wonder if they're doing like a little connected scene with the two of them, which would be amazing. Like if Hecklin is the Superman of record in Naomi as well, like that's pretty cool, man.
is
So
Naomi a CW or an HBO show?
I think it's a joint one. So
It's a
I think
joint.
they're like the Superman, Naomi, and Stargirl. Because Stargirl had a weird origin too, because it came under the old DC Universe
Mm-hmm.
streaming app that they had put out. So yeah, but Naomi for sure is a joint.
Because that'd be
Because I
cool,
think
even if it was like a back to back, like you watch Superman and Lois, and the next thing you get is Naomi, and they tease Naomi in that first episode or so. Like that would be a really awesome launching pad. Imagine a backdoor pilot that comes out literally after that episode.
yeah, I think it'll be great, and I love the dynamic as Superman and Naomi in the comics too, where she kind of looks up to him and he's looking out for her type of thing. So yeah, it's just smart. It's just smart, and I'm excited at the prospect of somebody like Ava DuVernay playing with Superman for a couple minutes. Like
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Like CW, like they got a reputation, and rightly so. I can say that having watched more of their stuff than I haven't, but you can't paint everything with the same brush. Like
nope, not
this thing
anymore. No,
is no.
things are changing. This is a narrative that we've spun and we talked about time and time and time again here. And I think we're finally seeing the fruits of the labor of the changing of the guard, specifically with the direction of DC. January, it's a big month. Look, we just talked about 3 properties: PeaceMaker, Naomi, and Superman and Lois. They're coming out in January alone. 2022 is a massive pivot and pillar year for DC film and TV as a whole. Like we're going to brand new levels. You get to March, we got the freaking Batman. Like, come on. Like,
I know, and that guy's 2 spin-off shows.
yes, because let's talk about that even. Like the HBO Max show where that was confirmed here with Colin Farrell reprising his role as Oswald Cobblepot, and it's directly around him, correct? It's not like the
Yes.
Gotham, because there's the Gotham show, and then is this like the underground version or your juxtaposition, your pairing of the two?
Yeah, like I think you have your GCPD show, which will be using HBO, like that'll be like The Wire,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and then you'll have your Cobblepot show that'll be like all their other shows, like your Boardwalk Empire or whatever other crime uh, mobster type show. So that's pretty cool, and like eh, you have the channel that brought you The Sopranos that's going to do a gangster show that just happens to feature the Penguin in Gotham City. Like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. What is it like? Who would have thought even 5 years ago?
The foundation is going to be laid in a serious way, and we're going to getting all these spin-off shows. That's what I love about these streaming services, the ability to expand content like this. This doesn't happen on the big screen. We're not getting a Cobblepot movie, right?
No.
And now we're getting what could be, what is it, 4 to 6 episodes of a show like this that could help expand the foundation of the Batman universe and allow us to springboard into bigger stories inside of the film events. And the same thing with GCPD. It's another way to construct things around the Batman, build Gotham as that character that it's always been, from both the light and the dark side of things. It's such a cool way to really expand this out. And then you've got the Batman animated coming back, or that, what is it, the Caped Crusader, that's going to have a similar tone with those creatives that Matt Reeves in and behind that as well. Like this is the year of the bats. You mentioned about everything they have in the pipe for bats and holding back. This is the reason they're holding stuff back. It's smart marketing, because there's
Yeah.
so much coming. The first half of the year is going to be completely consumed by DC properties and building into the Batman, which will be another pillar character coming back. And then you layer on Black Adam and the Flash and all this other crazy stuff. Like January is a huge month, but geez, there's so much more to come.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's nuts. And it's cool that there's just so much. And we'll have like 3 DC shows launching. Then we get Morbius. Then we have the Batman, and we're off to the races for the rest of 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it's usually like graveyard season for films and TV shows, like we're gonna be as busy as ever here in the Nerd Room, trying to cover
I
this
know.
stuff in in a reasonable fashion, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it every single day. I've currently have my Crave canceled, but I've already notified my wife that January 1 it comes back, not only for that Harry Potter thing, but also for PeaceMaker and everything else that's coming out after that. Like it's a can't miss at this stage.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good eating, man. It's good eating. And if something's not for your taste, just give it a pass. Move on to the next thing.
Well, that's the best part about this, right? It's not like we're getting the PeaceMaker show and that's it. You know, it's not like we're just getting Hawkeye and that's it. It's like we said last week. If you don't like it, that's fine. There's something coming within a couple of weeks that might meet more of your sensibilities. And not everything, you're not going to like everything. I hate to break it to everyone here. Some of you might not like Peacemaker. Some of you might not like Hawkeye. Some of you might like No Way Home or the Batman. I find that hard to believe you're not going to like the Batman. But anyways, there might be things you don't like. That's cool. Because guess what? 3 weeks from now, there's something new coming out. That's what we're afforded in this world we live in, not only with film, but also the streaming services producing the content that they are right now.
Yeah, you literally get 3 different flavors of live action Batman over the course of 2022. Pick one or all.
Absolutely brilliant. And we're going to keep going at this breakneck pace into a character that you hold near and dear to you, and that is Daredevil. So lots of rumors swirling about Daredevil, Netflix, Charlie Cox, and all this, but there was an interesting video that was released this past weekend. A captive Marvel Studios president, Kevin Feige, was forced to reveal by clearly the villain of the story in Amy Pascal here that Charlie Cox is in fact Daredevil inside of the MCU. I'm not sure if you guys out there listening or if yourself felt this way, but I was almost certain Kevin Feige was at gunpoint when he revealed this information. It was so just in passing for a character that everyone's excited about, that there's lots of rumors about, but just to like drop it there, like if he's in No Way Home, just let it happen. Like I don't understand the point. I'm excited about it, but it just feels like an odd way to reveal one of your major characters, one of your major players, likely through the next 10 years of storytelling, to just kind of like nonchalantly reveal this.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with him being held at gunpoint, but having watched the video, I think Amy Pascal actually had like the original yellow Shriek symbiote on her head, and that's what Feige was scared of, and that's why he revealed that news. Yeah, it was a bit weird and very uncharacteristic of how he typically does business, but man, did that ever get me excited? Like, yeah, Daredevil's my dude. Like, I love Daredevil, and just the thought of him being in the hands of Marvel Studios, where like I love the black pajamas, but it's like, come on, I need to see him in that red costume in all his glory with the billy clubs, and yeah, I'm stoked about the prospect of Matt Murdock in the MCU. I almost hope it's not in No Way Home, just because that movie's already so dense. But where I really want to see him more than anything is actually She-Hulk. Because I think that'll be a really cool place to introduce him. And if they have the discipline to just have him play Matt Murdock and maybe tease the fact that he's something more than that, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, in Feige we trust, and I'm just excited to have Matt Murdock back officially and imminently going to be showing up. And yeah, Charlie Cox was just special in that role. So yeah, man,
it's by far the best character portrayal inside of the Netflix Marvel universe that was constructed a few years back. The best 3 seasons. Season 2 is unbelievable. What they do with not only Charlie Cox in that role, but Foggy Nelson and Kingpin himself. There is a lot that they can leverage out of that universe. And if Charlie Cox is coming, and Kevin Feige put the caveat, we don't know where, we don't know when, we don't know how type thing, but he is coming, I think it opens the door to other characters, specifically like your kingpins, who may or may not have been referenced in Hawkeye episode 3, to guys like Luke Cage, which I'm really hoping gets a space inside of the MCU proper here, and to just build, like we said, you can pick and choose what you want and run with that, right? Not everything has to be canon. Defenders doesn't have to be canon if you don't want it to be. But fundamentally, you can basically hit the ground running with this Daredevil character with a portrayal that most people absolutely adore and want more of, and you just get to expand his storytelling with different characters now, which is really cool.
Yeah. One of the other things that I heard that was kind of exciting was there was a rumor that he's going to be in Secret Invasion, which is an ideal spot for him because given what his power set is, and that he's low key enough that
Oh man, I
there's still
love
some
that.
drama there. He's not Professor X, where he's like that guy's human,
Yeah.
that guy's a Skrull, that guy's human, that guy's a Skrull. Where he's using his senses to kind of pick up who's human and who's not, but can't do it en masse. So that's cool. And then also they said that the the rumor was that he's going to have his yellow costume, which like I have a soft spot for that yellow costume. I don't need to see it long term, but it'd be cool. And if anybody's gonna, give it to us for a single season of a show or as an Easter egg, it's gonna be Marvel Studios. So yeah, I say bring it on.
Yeah, like yellow suit. I hadn't heard that one, but if you want to separate yourself a little bit from what's been done in the past, sure, put him in the yellow suit, bring it on. And it took me a second or two too long to process that Secret Invasion thing that you said there. But man, that blew my brain apart. Thinking about him just having, that sense about him that there's ticks or there's something that he can pick up as to who's a Skrull and who's not, and leveraging that. What a wicked way to use Daredevil.
Yeah, and then it doesn't because if your main character in that is going to be Nick Fury, then that doesn't give him somebody totally overpowered, right? Where it makes it way too easy for Nick Fury to negotiate his way through. So, yeah.
Oh, man, that just, like, whether or not that's true, but that just amped up Secret Invasion to another level for me. Because it's been one I've been kind of like, I don't know. Like, I wish it was bigger and there's so much more you could do with it. But if you're not talking about including characters like that, what? Yeah, make it even a little bit more street level, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. But the prospect of Charlie Cox coming back here and being pretty prevalent over the next couple of years is awesome. Like, I agree. I don't really need him in No Way Home. Like, he may show up as Matt Murdock, sure. Just a nod to the fact that he's back. And, Kevin Feige saying that while he's sitting beside Amy Pascal maybe lends to the idea that is a likely case at this point. But in and out, I'm a lawyer, this, that, and the other thing. And then let's move on to something like She-Hulk, where you slowly build out his character inside of the MCU, what role he's going to play. And then, geez, like there has to be an impending Daredevil show announcement at some point here. Like, you can't leave that character as a supporting role or in Secret Invasion forever, right? He's got to have a Daredevil show or a movie, maybe. Maybe that's the next step. Maybe that's where he takes this character. And we spent a lot of time in the TV space. Maybe a movie is where you need to go.
Yeah, or even just something totally different, like a Disney Plus movie, right? Like something like they're doing with Batgirl or Blue Beetle, where it's like you don't have the massive spend of a big theatrical release, which a character like Daredevil wouldn't need anyways. But you also get the benefit of a nice long singular tale with Daredevil, right? So yeah, that's another option too. So
man, I'm
it's
really
all on the table.
That. Like, because that's one thing that the HBO Max and DC is doing that Marvel's not at this point in time is movies. They've been very focused on these 6 to 8 episode arcs, which at times can be a lot, right, for a character and pulling out story. Like, a lot, we could even argue that some of those Daredevil and Luke Cage stories were an episode or two long at 10 to 12 episodes, right? That's a lot of content to get through and a lot of story to tell. And some of it's got to be pretty slow paced to get you through the middle part of those seasons as you're building towards something bigger. And so just taking an hour and a half, 2 hours to tell your story, pretty economic.
Yeah, and we've already had like the long form thing with Daredevil on Netflix. So I think this would be something that's different but yet familiar, and give you something cool to have on your streaming service too. So if it's Daredevil, man, I'm there for it. Like I've read copious amounts of amazing Daredevil comics, and bunch of pretty terrible ones. Mark Waid. So yeah, we'll see where this takes us.
Yes, well, it's very, very exciting times. And, we're going to take a trip over to the Beyond for a minute here, because there's a property here that we need to talk about. They just dropped a trailer recently, and that's The Matrix. What is it? Matrix Resurrections? This movie, when the first trailer dropped, it kind of caught all of us off guard. We didn't really know it was coming. It hadn't gotten much of that fanfare. But as these trailers build, man, this new trailer, it looks freaking awesome. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it's a soft reboot for that universe that kind of is resetting and revisiting a lot of the original film foundation. But the visuals look cool. I'm digging Keanu here. I don't know why there's different characters playing the same roles. Like, why is Morbius a different guy? Like, Lawrence Fishburne's still kicking around, right? So I don't know what's going on, even watching this trailer, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm stoked for The Matrix. I haven't watched the new trailer, but that was on purpose. Like I've actively avoided it just because typically I'll just watch the teaser trailer and the first theatrical trailer. With this one, I think we just got that first theatrical trailer off the jump, and now we have this one. So that one was good enough. It gave me everything I wanted to completely and utterly buy in. And I didn't watch the trailer, but I followed the poster campaign, which has been amazing. Like everything, even the IMAX poster was awesome, and the still shots, and it's just cool to see Keanu and Carrie Ann Moss together, and she looks great. And it seems like they've built something exciting, and they have a love story that's entrenched in the middle of this like massive cyber odyssey that we're going on, and that's cool. That's cool. And like it's a loss to not have Lawrence Fishburne in this, but at the same time you're replacing him with Yahya Abdul Mateen. Like that's pretty cool too, and he brings a different energy. And yeah, I'm excited for this one. Like this is going to be an opening night theater journey for me. Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of flying under the radar. Like and I might just not be in the right circles, but it doesn't seem to be getting the same fanfare that everything else is. It's kind of mixed up here with No Way Home, but it's unfortunate that this is I guess this is your day and date with HBO Max, right? I'd almost like to see this pushed into like February or something, where it has a bit of room to breathe outside of like all the fanfare of everything that's happening right now. Because you got between like No Way Home and then like even the streaming, you got Hawkeye and Book of Boba Fett and the holidays. And I know holidays are usually like a primo time for movie debuts and that, but it's getting lost in the sauce a bit for me. And like I said, I don't know if that's just me and the feeds I pay attention to, but it just doesn't feel as big as those original Matrix films, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that first trailer seemed to generate a lot of hype, and I'm almost surprised that they didn't push it into January so that they didn't have to release it under the day and date promotion that they had. But c'est la vie. Like I think Dune did exceptionally well from what I understand, being day and date. So we'll see what happens with The Matrix, and I suspect The Matrix was significantly cheaper than that movie and a lot of other movies anyways. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And it's kind of cool. Like I watched an interview with Ann Sarnoff, and she's just like, yeah, you know what? Lana Wachowski came to us and she had a really cool idea, and we did this with her. And as far as expansion goes, if she wants to expand this universe, we are happy to facilitate that for her. So that's kind of exciting too, and gives them another thing to play with, and we'll see where they take it.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting piece, and I won't spoil anything here, but it did have me scratching my head. Like it's more like an intrigue, right? I want to know what's happening in this because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's laid out, and like I kind of get this, but I really don't know how this connects and why certain things are happening. And these movies came out when I was in high school and all that, and so I was in the mix of these. And remember when 2 and 3 were filmed back to back, and it was this huge thing that was happening. They're all coming out and all this fanfare, and you can argue or not if that delivered or not, but ultimately it's one of those kind of iconic franchises from that era.
Oh, totally. Like honestly, look at all the movies that ripped it off.
Yeah,
like to this day, right? Like even Space Jam they had the scene when they introduced Granny, and it's the Trinity telephone scene from the beginning. Like it left an indelible
Hmm.
impact on a generation of viewers. So yeah, no, I'm here for it, and I hope it does
Me too.
really well and can be the gateway to an expansion of the Matrix universe.
Yeah, and I think ultimately they have avenues inside of HBO Max to tell stories, and they have avenues in the film. Like this thing, it really was born on and as a film, but there's avenues they can take it. This animatrix stuff that they did, and who knows what they can do when they have the ability to and a creative that wants to create inside of the universe. Like that's really important too, and someone that has the sensibilities and has been with this franchise for decades, right? And so there's so much they can do.
Yeah, it almost has that feeling of when old George Miller decided I'm randomly after 25, 30 years gonna do another Mad Max
Yeah,
movie. And we're all just like, Mad Max, who wants to see that? Oh, what? The
yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
winning Mad Max movie? Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this one. And so yeah, good on them for taking their shot.
Hey man, I'm here for it. Just like you. And as we scoot to our last news topic, it's been a dense episode. We got one more thing to get to here. Another surprise teaser trailer drop, and that comes from Across the Spiderverse teaser trailer, a number one for part one of what appears to be a at least a two-parter, I would think, but maybe even three, building off of Into the Spider-Verse, which is heralded as one of the greatest comic book movies of all time by quite a few people. We're getting the return of Miles, the much older Miles. We get Gwen in this, in an awesome clip, a reintroduction to these two characters, the art style, what they're going to do here. The art was a big thing for me that drew me into this. And we start with our trip into the Spider-Verse here. It's very fast, it's very quick. We get to see some highlights of Miles and Spider-Man 2099, but also our boy Ian had compiled this whole thing for us that shows all the different teases. Ghost Spider, the 90s cartoon Spider-Man, Penny Parker Silk. We've got the Japanese Spider-Man, Secret Wars, Spidey, Gwen Stacy, Ben Riley, and like I mentioned, Spider-Man 2099. So lots of teases in there. The makeup of the trailer has what I'm already calling iconic shots. That shot of Gwen standing horizontal to the building, looking up at Miles Morales. I took a screen grab of that and reposted because it was just so incredible. That one shot blew my brain apart. This being a part one to an already beloved franchise, expanding this out in a serious way, adding all sorts of characters. This to me has just this little teaser trailer rocketed up to the top of my anticipation list as what they can do inside of the Spider-Verse. To be honest with you, if I'm going to be completely and utterly honest with you, I don't know if this is saturation. I'm kind of more excited about this than I am No Way Home.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. That's fair. I know the big Spider-Man fan in our house. Like she I don't know if I want to disclose this on the air, but we were at my cousin's wedding on the weekend and we may or may not have snuck out during a key speech because I got notified that the Spider-Verse trailer dropped and the two of us had to watch it right at that minute. So um yeah, man, like the hype is real for this one. Like Into the Spider-Verse was amazing and Edge of the Spider-Verse, it's got to be something special. And uh, that they took so much time with it tells me that they know what they had with that first one, but they're building to a movie that needs to be seen and needs to be experienced as opposed to just putting out a sequel because it'd be easy to cash in on it type of thing. So that's cool. It seems like they put a lot of thought and they were very purposeful with it. And even just other things like our boy Ian compiled all that, but he missed a key one where very clearly Miles ends up um, meeting Spider-Man India at some point in time because one of the first places that he falls through has the Spider-Man India trappings to it. So that'll be cool.
With
And
it.
Miguel O'Hara has a whole bunch of stuff that he can bring to this story to make it different than Into the Spider-Verse, very different. And yeah, I think it's neat. And I almost wonder if we'll have like a big pillar Peter Parker in this one, and I think it'd be cool if we don't,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's kind of Miguel, Gwen, maybe Peter Parker-Vinder, I think is what his name was, and yeah, and Gwen guiding this thing through. Who knows? Who knows where it'll take us? But I'm in for it.
Yeah, man, you can not be excited. Can't not be excited for this. October 7th, 2022. This comes out. Add it to the list of anticipation for 2022. Yes, it is a bit further out, but this is a story that's been kept pretty tight-lipped. That's the benefit, I guess, of doing animation here, not live action stuff, is that it's not all over the place. But like, we really didn't know that this trailer was coming, and I had really thought too much about it. But once it's in front of you, you can't escape it almost, right? I've watched the trailer like 10 times trying to see all the little nuances that they've sprinkled in there that you can only catch by pausing and going frame by frame on some of this.
Mhm.
And I think that's brilliant, right? It's wild, it's expansive, but it also feels like it's still going to be somewhat of a personal story in all of this. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I get from this trailer.
Oh, definitely. Well, you just look at it, like the whole catalyst for it is like Miles is grounded
Mm-hmm.
because he
Yeah.
did something his parents didn't want him to do, right? And he's sneaking out with his quote unquote girlfriend. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And as we talk through it, I almost wonder if we'll get a quick turnaround to part 2.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like this is probably something, they can just be animating all at once, right? That you'll get like part 2 in 2023, maybe. Like maybe the first part of it, your March, April, May timeframe. Kind of drop it in there depending on how well this one does, which I'm sure it'll do exceedingly well, because the first one did great. And yeah, you can't deny that the art looks awesome. Like it's just so divergent from what we're used to in that Pixar Disney kind of idyllic, what they've crafted for the 3D modeling and all that. And this just takes it in such a different direction, and it's so attractive to look at. Yeah, blown away.
Yeah, it's cool looking animation and charming characters. It's can't miss.
Yeah.
Can't miss.
Man, we framed out a lot of 2022 there in about an hour's time. You know, guys, we still got to eventually get to our most anticipated for 2022, which is going to be happening probably the first week of January. It's a big episode that we always like to do. Looking forward, we're going to do a box office draft again next year, because fingers crossed, hopefully I'm going to actually beat either Troy or Carlos and bring home the Spidey. So there's a lot of big movies, and this one might fall onto my list. But 2022 is coming fast and furious, guys. Oh, man, what a time.
Yeah, we might have to change up that golden Spidey because, yeah, Troy picked back in the day, but back-to-back champion. And you know, that trophy's been here for a long time, and it looks good next to my little kid Spider-Man camera that I've had when I was a wee lad. So, yeah, maybe something else will present itself.
Hey, I'm always up for change, man. We like to always be evolving here, and if we need to retire a statue to bring a new one into the fold, I am here for it, because I would love to have a custom Carlos statue up behind me here, because I've never, ever had that statue in my house other than when it was first created and I handed over Troy.
Well, man, by the time the year is done, we'll have lots of options for it. We'll have everybody from Michael Keaton Batman to Dwayne Johnson Black Adam and Letitia Wright's Black Panther available as my options for what the statue is going to look like.
So many. You could probably get a discount Cersei or Icarus as well if you really want to kind of stay with that same frame and all that.
That's right. That's right. But if I want to cheap out, I can,
you save yourself $3.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking about plastic, guys, I think it's time that we do some plastic coverage here. There's a big item that we got to talk about over here in our week in Nerd. All right, guys, it's our week in Nerd where we like to talk about our acquisitions for the week, plastic acquisitions. And if you listened to last week's episode, you noted that Carlos and I, Carlos is doing some great stuff with his family, giving to less fortunate during this time of year. I've taken the month off the hunt, not spending any money directly on plastic for myself. and moving those funds elsewhere. But that does not mean that the plastic has stopped flowing into the nerd room. I've got pre-orders that are falling week by week into my lap here, but we're gonna have to wait on those because we have to talk about probably the most important collectible of the last 24 hours, and that is the Black Series HasLab Rancor. It's official, guys. It did not get back, much to my surprise. I thought this thing was going to do it. It was going to get across the finish line. We've chronicled this for the last couple of weeks since its launch, since I backed it here on one of the podcasts. And when I did that, I was like, this is a sure thing. No problem, the Rancor gets back. Yes, it was a little expensive. Yes, the tiers weren't fantastic, but ultimately, I thought it would sell. And moving into the last day, it wasn't even 50% backed. It did rocket up in the following hours, building into those last moments. The Rancor almost got backed. I was watching a live stream over with the Yes Have Some crew, which also had on it Jake Stevens from Forlom to Zuckus. Those guys were having a blast with it. They were covering it like it was the American presidential race, and we're coming down to the polls. It was a great time. I was chatting with Ian back and forth, him and I talking about it, watching it go. I was talking about Dave. Dave actually went out and backed it. He says, "You convinced me." Yeah, he's like, it was coming to the house. Well, he says, "I've gotten all caught up in the hype," so he backed it, and so we're having I had a lot of fun last night watching this countdown. The whole house was asleep. Everyone went to bed early, and it was just me and my laptop, live stream, Ian, Dave. It was a lot of fun, guys. And it got to 8,537 of the 9,000 backers needed. That was the maximum amount of backing. It was going up by 20 in the 2 hours too, and by the end, it was going up by 100 a minute almost. But it just did not get there. It closed at about 8,400 or so, and then it just kept going. And myself watching the live stream, I was messaging in the YouTube stream thinking, why is it still going up? And I thought, okay, it's just going to go up to 900. Like, they're filtering in international buyers, places like Toy Sapien, which our boy Ian did a video on. Go check out our YouTube channel on that one. They had bought a whole bunch, and they were selling them because international folks can't buy them the same way you can in the UK, US, and Canada. And it was just going up, and then it just stopped, and then it plummeted backwards. Like, it defunded everything and took everyone off. And so I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest with you, but ultimately my wallet was pretty happy about it. That saved me, close to 450 Canadian dollars about 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out from Christmas, whatever we are here. So I was a little relieved on that end, but a lot of lessons, there's one major lesson is that not everything tagged with Star Wars is going to sell out. You know what I mean? Like that is surprising. And there's components of the marketing, the release timing, the costs, the tiers that are available, the exclusivity of the figures inside of those tiers, even a release date. And that's something I want to just quickly touch on here. A lot of people are saying, like, why are you taking $400 of my dollars and not giving me something to 2023? Well, the whole concept is it only gets made if it's funded, right, guys? And so the idea that they could turn this around in 6 months is not feasible. Like, they have a cast, like, it's all got to get made and produced and nothing. The idea is that we, the people, are giving them the money to go and do this instead of them taking the risk. The risk is on us. Well, there's not really no built-in risk there. So ultimately it didn't get back. But from the periphery, Carlos, kind of watching this unfold over the last couple of weeks, any comments on the Rancor here, the Rancor watch from last night, this HasLab concept?
Yeah, no, I am disappointed for you that it didn't get backed, and I was just kind of keeping an eye on the DMs, and as you guys were throwing up some of those numbers, I too thought that this was happening. Like, they're right on the doorstep of this behemoth getting backed. But honestly, I think the fatal flaw in this whole release was that there was so many HasLab projects that came out at the same time. Because correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, but it all came out around PulseCon, and you already have your Galactus that has been in the final throes of its fulfillment, but then you announced the Sky Striker for G.I. Joe, the Proton Pack, this one, and was there a fourth one?
No, but there was a big pre-order that went up for that turtle van with Super 7 as well.
Yeah, but even just focused on Hasbro, so like you hit people
There's a
with those
Sentinel too
three.
that had just within the last year or so, or whatever it was, 2 years.
Yeah, and so you hit people with all those, and then you're also putting out all your announcements for the other things
Mhm.
that they're going to be selling you during that time. And like, let's face it, there's very few people that are just strictly laser focused on one of these franchises. So it gets a bit tight, right? So I think if they had given themselves some room and a bit of distance from the other two um uh HasLabs projects and a few of the announcements too, so that people aren't, I could see seeing all those announcements come out and you're like, well, I want to buy all these figures and all this other stuff that's coming out. I can't justify adding this $400 Rancor to the top of it as well, right? So that might be why I was a bit slow getting off the hop, and also might speak to why the Proton Pack got backed so quickly,
Mhm.
because there was nothing else competing with it for Ghostbusters fans.
Yep.
It was like, there's a Proton Pack, that's what I want. So yeah, there is that, and then I think revealing the Rancor Keeper as your very last
Mhm.
tier was a bit of a misstep, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they knock it out of the park with the next one.
Yeah, and I don't know if they repackage this later on down the road for a bit cheaper or with better tiers. And I don't know. I guess the fundamental thing is that these things got to sell off of the initial offering, and everything else is the cherry on top, right? The
Mm-hmm.
expectation that the tiers are the selling factor is difficult, right? It's an encouragement to get more backers, to get those people that are off of the fence. But it seemed like a lot of people had a hard time even getting on board with the Rancor itself. And the general feedback is it is expensive. It was expensive, right? It's not, that's not a cheap figure by any means. And yeah, the Rancor Keeper being added late as kind of that incentive bonus. It didn't do much though. It's not like it lit the thing on fire. It might have bumped it up by a couple hundred, maybe close to 1,000, but it didn't make the substantial move, it being included in the base package that you would have maybe expected that could have had earlier on, and not announcing it as a pure exclusive for this package. Like, this is the only way you can get that may have been a misstep as well. And I think to your point about the 3 concurrent HasLab projects, they may have underestimated the amount of crossover in those fandoms, because soon as the Rancor collapsed, the Star Striker, it got funded. Sky Striker, it got funded yesterday or early today. So it got back. Like, a lot of that money shifted over to that. And so
Yeah, so it just goes to show, right, that people only have so much money. So you probably had people that were like, I really want the Sky Striker,
Mhm.
but Star Wars is my main,
Mhm.
so I'll put it towards the Rancor. And like, yeah, that Sky Striker is badass. That thing's wicked.
It's really cool. And it's cheaper too than the Rancor as well. And the Proton Pack was more expensive. I've debated the Proton Pack because they're about to unlock the very last tier of this thing, but it's more expensive. And as much as I love Ghostbusters, there are other options for a display piece like that that doesn't cost that. And I still have to go and buy the wand, the
Well, that's the
$110
thing that,
wand, right?
yeah, that boggles my mind that it doesn't come with the
Yeah.
wand.
So yeah, and the Ghostbusters has caught some serious fire over the last month or two, or even building into Afterlife and the success of Afterlife. And I'm so happy for that fandom getting such a big project backed and a major chunk of support thrown behind that from collectors to meet and exceed all of those tier options. Like, realistically, it's funny because I think every HasLab project, if I'm not mistaken, has made it to every single available tier. And the fact that the Star Wars one didn't even get to the base is still shocking to me. But it also sends a message. I was saying online that we can complain all day, but the way to send a message to Hasbro is to literally not back the thing. That sends a very clear message to them about not only the price tag on this stuff, but how it's marketed and how it's rolled out and the competition with others. Like, that is the loudest message that Hasbro will receive in 2021, that Star Wars just will not sell out no matter what. Right? That if this was 2015, 16, 17, I think Troy said this a couple weeks ago, that thing would have sold out first day. It would have been back, no problem. But we live in a different Star Wars environment right now, and they're seeing that. They might not be seeing that in the bottom line with the Black Series figures. I don't know. But this is a major message, a big one being sent by the community.
Yeah, well, and there's just so many different companies competing for your dollars now, right? Even within the Star Wars space, there's statue companies making stuff, and outlets like Gentle Giant putting things out. So yeah, no, hopefully it's a bit of short-term pain for some long-term gain with how Hasbro's doing business. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it changes up their approach to future HasLab projects, not only with Star Wars but with the other ones. Because you look in the last couple of years, there's been some big money ones, like between the Marvel stuff and the Proton Pack, and then you look at other companies. Mattel had done a big wrestling one recently for a huge ring. And then there's it's not really a funding project, but it's a pre-order, made-to-order type thing with that near $500 Turtle Wagon for the Turtle Super 7 figures that Troy collects. Like, that thing is huge, but so expensive. So big ticket items. And then, like you said, you layer that onto people that are Lego collectors. Some big Lego, expensive Legos coming out. Hot Toys is doing incredible things. And then that's seemingly on and above the action figures and everything else, right? And so it's becoming extremely expensive, and you might be pricing people out of either lines or scales. So
yeah. Well, yeah, it's no different than me with the Mattel Creations Batmobile from the Batman. Like, it is big and beautiful and gorgeous and just has so many neat things, like the little camera where you can see Pattinson sitting there shifting and stuff, but it's too big and too expensive for me to bring home. And it's like, yeah, it'll be awesome and I'll love it, but it'll kind of sit there after I have that initial fun playtime and off we go, right?
That's exactly it. The Rancor's the same way. Bit of posing, and it's going to stay there forever. So a bittersweet moment. It's a little disappointment, but also I'm just a tad bit happy I don't have to fork out that cash right now. So anyways, man, let's talk about your plastic. I got a few things here, but I want to hear about what you've been getting up to. I know you guys you've been in the trenches there, getting ready for the holiday season and all the good work that you and your family does. But you got any pre-orders coming in or anything trickling into the house here right before the holidays?
Yeah, and it's ironic that you kind of set it up that way, because I had a box arrive just yesterday from Big Bad Toy Store that embodied all the things that is the Nerd Room, in that it had a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Marvel, and a little bit of DC and beyond. So I can't disclose everything for disclosure of Christmas gifts, but yeah, this November I had like a drop dead date where I was like, okay, all you figures that say that you're coming out November, like the 17th is your drop dead date, because I didn't want to get stuck like we did last year where we got into the Christmas parcel Armageddon with the post office and it doesn't show up till January. So yeah, had my stuff shipped and got a decent sized box. It wasn't all the things that I wanted to come all at once, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But in there, for things that I can talk about, I got the Miles Morales Gamerverse Marvel Legend figure, and it is sweet. Like, that figure is unbelievably detailed and just looks cool, and he's articulated well enough, and you can get him into cool poses. So I actually have him balanced on one hand with his leg up in the air, kicking the Green Goblin, who's on one of the little
Awesome.
clear plastic risers, and he balances like perfectly. He's been there all day. So yeah, I can't believe the detail in this guy, like with the raised webbing, and then under that he's got like a textured black suit, and then other parts of the costume are smooth and whatnot, and it's really cool, almost like auto finish red paint that they used on him. So that was sweet. And then the other thing that was in that box was from NECA, the Batman the Animated Series prop replica of the grapnel gun. So it's a big square meaty gun. I haven't opened it up yet. That'll be something to play with after I make some terrible phone calls for work tomorrow. But yeah, it has like a button and it fires out the grapnel hook, and then you can retract it back in. And it just looks cool, and the fact that they realized the animated series look for this thing in the form of a toy. And then a whole pile of Batman 89 Batarangs.
Oh,
Like they were
wicked. They were
cheap
so
and too
cheap.
sweet. I know. So I bought lots. And yeah, they're cool, man. Like I can't wait to have those things and just flicking them open and flicking them closed. And because I anticipate doing that a lot, I had to buy extras just in case we wear them
Just
open.
throwing out in the neighborhood. Kids, get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, I guess they have like magnetics to them with the flick action and whatnot. So that'll be cool to play with. So that was kind of neat. And it's always nice to just have to pay I think it was like $19 to ship all that stuff.
Mhm.
So that's all it cost me to bring it home, having paid for all those things a long time ago.
Yeah, that pile of loot thing with Big Bad is a cool option.
Hmm.
You can let things build up. You're not paying $19 to ship one figure, and then 2 weeks later, another $19 to ship another figure. It's kind of a painful,
Yeah.
especially coming across the border.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and if you can be patient with it, or if you have just like an anchor item in there,
Mhm.
like I had this Batman bus that's been sitting with them on pre-order forever type of thing. So knowing that that will eventually come, I'm happy
Yeah.
to just kind of have a few of these things that I can wait on and have them show up whenever they show up. And yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see you next time just rolling up to a movie or something with battering on your hip.
That's right, man. That's right. Nothing beats that 89 Batarang. Like it's
absolutely
just
not.
the coolest.
And the fact that it was so cheap. Like what was
Yeah.
that? It wasn't much more than $25-$30, was it?
I think it was 19,
Yeah,
man.
jeez. There you go. That's McFarlane for you, man. Or NECA. That's an NECA one,
NECA,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, jeez. Cannot go wrong with a prop replica, right? Because you can get into hundreds of dollars for like one from an actual prop replica store, right, or whatever.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah. And it blows it away. Absolutely blows it away. It's unreal. Like just eh, like I have a few higher end prop replicas, and like these ones they look just as good, and they're almost more fun because the cost
Mm-hmm.
isn't there, so you're not as paranoid with them and you're willing to futz around with
Yeah.
them a bit more. Like yeah. And they like NECA's made a few of them, and they always add like fun functionality to them. Like I have the Batarang from the Arkham game, and they actually added like little animated LED lights
Oh,
on
that's
it,
cool.
and yeah, you can flick it open and whatnot. It's obnoxiously huge and would kill someone, but yeah, it's just a fun little product.
Yeah, well, NECA is doing their thing, and you're talking about Batman. There, we're gonna move over to NECA and the Ninja Turtles because I got a pre-order that arrived it was late last week, and like I said earlier, I got my shipping notification for this April O'Neil figure. I've been talking about it in every video that I've put out on YouTube when I show my NECA Turtles because I've been expecting it since August 26th is when they printed the label. Like that's at the end of the summer, guys. Printed the label for this, and I just had come to the conclusion I'm gonna have to find one at Kijiji or I'm gonna have to find one secondhand because this is clearly lost somewhere. I guess it must have just been stuck on a boat in California or wherever it was because it showed up. It's on my doorstep and boom, I've opened it. I haven't actually cracked it open here. It's got this cool lenticular front on it where you kind of have like the TV and the white noise with April O'Neil on it. You open it up. It's nice. One of these like nice NECA packages. And you got April O'Neil with the head swaps, the purse, the fingers, the sai, everything. Like this is a cool figure from TMNT #1, 1990s version of the figure. It's starting to really build out and finish out my NECA collection here. I got the Danny added this year. We've also got the announcement of the Casey Jones and the other April O'Neil coming, so I got to put those into the collection. But it's nice to have her. It's not the yellow jacket. I don't have the yellow jacket. That was a separate. You had to pay more money for that one, along with an April O'Neil autograph. But I'm pretty happy to have this figure in the collection. It's a must-have for that 90s collection. And man, now I'm knocking on the door at like 15 figures in that line right now.
Man, but it's just so cool, and like those figures are insane quality for the price of them.
Wild.
Insane. Like I would buy way more NECA stuff if there's more franchises that are close to my heart, but like I was giddy when they announced that RoboCop 35th anniversary figure because it's just the prospect of having another NECA figure in my
Oh
wheelhouse
yeah, I
coming
forgot about
into
that.
town.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. As soon as that thing popped up, I pre-ordered it and sent Marty an email. Like I was just like, yeah, if I got one, awesome. If I get three, even better. So yeah,
Ma-
I'm.
you can't
Oh, go
you
ahead.
can't go wrong for that price point on those guys, right? And
No, the detail is insane on them, and the paint apps, and even ones like with the turtles, like they look wet.
mhm.
Like it's the coolest thing. The Predators are the same thing. Like they're just phenomenal figures. And I know Daddy Bats on the Vigilante collects the Universal
Yeah,
Monsters figures, and those are gorgeous as well.
there's been some cool ones revealed here through the Halloween season and all that. I saw one. I don't know if it's a new reveal or not, but it's one of what's his name, Jason. But he's meant to be on that brick with a chain around his neck, but the chain is actually holding the figure up, so it looks like he's floating underwater.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
super cool. Yeah, and like you said, the details here, those turtle figures, I swear, like we've seen the big quarter-inch scales. Marty has those, and I think Ian's got a couple of them. And you look at those, and you look like they literally just shrunk down that and have these. But if you were to make a hot toy of these turtle figures, like these miniature ones, like it's not going to be that much different ultimately.
No. Oh no. Those turtles are some of their best ones, and yeah, they just crush it with
Mm-hmm.
those. Crush it with those. And even like I don't know if you've ever played with their xenomorphs from Aliens at all,
Yeah.
but it's like we own one, and it still blows me away that the thing was only like 19 or 20 bucks or whatever, because the detail and the paint job and the translucent parts on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it even has like little things like a spring loaded like the little face thing that pops
Oh,
out
wicked.
of them and whatnot. And yeah, it's just, yeah, honestly, like NECA is they're top of the class, I think, for a figure that's reasonably priced, but the quality
Mm-hmm.
of the final product,
Yeah.
yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, I do. Their Back to the Future stuff is creeping up in price a little bit. Like they're around $40 now, and these Ultimate figures, they're starting to get up there a little bit. But at the same time, when you look at this, like they're still almost close to on par with the Black Series figures. And you
Hmm.
look at the amount of accessories you get in these, the detail, and the really once not in a lifetime, but these turtle figures especially, these haven't been produced like this ever, right?
Hmm.
And so I know the Black Series in some cases hasn't, like, but you've got 3 3/4 inch versions that have been coming out for 4 decades, and this is what also makes that line special for me is that it's I have such a nostalgic connection to it, but it's the first time we're really seeing an April O'Neil figure from that movie ever that I can really think of. That they might have done like cartoon versions. Well, they have done cartoon versions, but they might have done like an attempt at this April, but I don't think so in
Hmm.
the past. So really really cool. And the only other figure that I picked up, we did a little celebrating here over the weekend, and my wife had picked me up a Sylvie, a Marvel
Oh,
Legends
excellent.
Sylvie. So it's was one of the holes I had in the collection when it came to the Disney Plus figures. This came out with that, what do you call it? What If series wave. This was on the back end of that. And happy to have Sylvie in the nerd room here. I haven't popped her to the package yet. That's coming soon. And then I just got to get Mobius whenever he goes on deep discount at Toys R Us here locally. And then I'll have the Loki crew. But great figure. It comes with the sword, a little hand swap there. The face sculpt is pretty on point for her. The little the Loki horn thing with the one horn missing. Great figure, great figure. So love building out that Marvel Legends line, and as the No Way Home stuff and the Eternal stuff will slowly trickle in the new year when I start sweeping that stuff back up off Kijiji when people are trying to dump stuff here in the new year.
Well, if you need the leg for the armadillo for No Way Home, or the leg for the Watcher, by all means hit me up,
Yeah,
because I got those
I got a few armadillo
poaching the
pieces
one to
myself
figure.
that I gotta try to get rid of. If you got a smart Hulk head, then I'll be willing to trade from that, or any M'Baku pieces. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I got none of those, but yeah, anything I do have is yours.
Wicked.
Just take
I
them.
might. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of this. What if I would? I think it'd be cool to have the Watcher actually. Like, there's no other figure there that screams like that. I want it between like the Nebula, the Strange, the Spider-Man, the Captain Carter, or the T'Challa. Because I've already got the the Captain America zombie. But that Watcher kind of looks cool. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll see if I can pull that together one day.
Well, yeah, you can save yourself buying the most basic Spider-Man figure that's ever been
That's on-
created. Oh, it's so terrible. I had better ones when I was a kid. And
Well, it's funny too because you're talking about this Miles figure, right, being so good, and just like the outright discrepancy between that and even the No Way Home figures that Troy and I were talking about last week, about how like the effort just isn't always there for Spider-Man for some reason. Like some figures they hit it out of the park, and other ones it's like, we're just gonna put this out. It's Spider-Man, it'll sell.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So yeah, if you want to save yourself buying that one, I can give you the leg for the watch.
I might take you up on that offer because that's the only other one that I would maybe like on display. The other ones I'm kind of like, I got the Lego fig, so. But yeah, man, that wraps up our Weekend Nerd for this week. A little bit of a quieter one, but I think it's nice going into the holiday season here. And we'd like to encourage, like we did last week, guys, if you do have the ability and do have the extra funds to go out there and support people that are a little less fortunate than us. We have lots of fun here in the Nerd Room talking about plastic, but we also have to recognize that that's not the reality for a lot of people in this world, and that a little extra helping hand, especially this time of year, all through the year is really important, but especially this time of year is always something that if you can try to do a little bit, extend a little help to someone that is a little less fortunate than you. And that's something that we are concentrating on here, and we continue to do so into and through the new year. But man, I feel like we've been talking at a lightning pace here for almost an hour and a half, and it's time to sign off here because we gotta look to the future. Next week, episode 300. We're hitting that milestone. We're excited about it. We might talk a little bit of Spider-Man. We might talk about a little something else. Who knows what we're going to be doing on episode 300. But I can guarantee you one thing. We will be here next week talking all things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and beyond. And then we've got No Way Home, of course, coming up. We've got some live stream with our friends over at the Vigilante 1939. I believe they are planning a tailgate, as they called it. They did this before Zack Snyder's Justice League, where they got a bunch of people on a live stream, have a few drinks, talking Spider-Man this time, though, before we get into No Way Home. And then we've got a big review coming up here, the end of Hawkeye. We've got Book of Boba Fett. Jeez, returning to the Star Wars universe. We just got that Boba Fett figure announced today from like that cloaked one with the upgraded armor and all that. Shh. Yeah, that's coming home with me, even though it's a deluxe figure, which I don't love, but it's coming home. We'll definitely be seeing that going up on pre-order here shortly. So lots to get into, guys. It's going to be a busy end of the year, and like we talked about earlier, it's going to be a busy start to 2022 as well. So return here every single week with the Nerd Room to get your fill of everything that is nerd. And if you would like to be a bigger part of any conversation, you can always email us at nerdroom@gmail.com. You can find everything we do over the nerdroom.net. The hunt is real, and it's over on Instagram. You can check some of these images that I'll throw up of this April O'Neil and this Sylvie with the rest of the Marvel Legends. We're going to be doing a bit of countdowns over on our YouTube channel as we build out to the end of the year, looking at some of our favorite pickups from 2021. We usually talk about some of that in the year wrap-up episode, but we want to give some visual content to bring with that as well. So we're going to be putting up some videos, and Ian continues to kill it over there with our weekly videos. He's got a Bandai build of the Razor Crest up there right now. He's got an absolutely adorable Christmas version or Christmas vlog up there right now with him and his family. So go over there, give us a sub, check out those videos. We're doing once a week, bringing and expanding the content and really focusing a bit more on toys and collectibles over there. And last but not least, Twitter. That's where you can find us talking, debating, giving our opinions, and talking with you guys. I had a lot of fun talking about the Rancor with a lot of people yesterday over on Twitter. So you can catch us with our handles at the end of the episode. Now, with all of that being said, and another rapid, big, huge week of nerd behind us, we have to say goodbye for now. So for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
And I'm Batman.
And thank you guys so much for entering the Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts Tim, Troy, Sanjay, and Carlos on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, Sunjabi, and CDN Caped Crusade R. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you plug in. Use the hashtag WeTheNerd to keep up with the latest from the Nerd Room on Instagram and Twitter.